Hey yo, welcome back to the top. The name is Gearhart, aka Gearhart, and I'm excited because it's time to get off this highway and get onto the hype train. Doot doot! And you know why? Well, one, we are still on the road to Z. This is week 6, of course, and it has been announced that the Pokemon Direct, there is a Pokemon Direct dated for February 26th, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but February 27th in Japan at midnight. And because it's at midnight on February 27th, the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, this has to be huge. This has to be huge. That it has to be a new Pokemon game, which is why this might be the final road to Z, because the name could change once it is on Friday, because there will be another one, and it'll be week 7 because it'll take the spot of Sundays, because this is so huge. There's no reason for me to explain it again on Sunday. So after this was announced, everybody was going crazy, insane. They were like, "Oh, this has to be the new game. Finally, the dry streak is over. It's gonna be the game." But then you have all the negative people going, "Oh, it'll just be Pokemon Go. Oh, they'll just announce the virtual console releases. Oh, they're just gonna congratulate and hey, happy Pokemon Day. Oh, it'll be the Detective Pikachu one," which, yeah, I'm not sure, but we're gonna go down the line. The first example I'm seeing is people going, "It'll just be Pokemon Go." So the argument against this and why it won't be is this. I'm taking all of these from Reddit, by the way, the Pokemon subreddit, our Pokemon, and this is by Hanimation. The username Hanimation. The user Hanimation is what I'm trying to say, but Hanimation says, "By the way, people, a Pokemon Go announcement is actually impossible for this. If you remember, the Direct format was created and is being hosted by Nintendo. They are obviously not going to advertise a mobile game that they had no hand in creating on their service. They've even stated multiple times that the Directs are purely for games on their own consoles." What Hanimation is saying is that it's impossible for it to be Pokemon Go, because Directs are for Nintendo's own consoles, that being the Wii U and the 3DS, and maybe down the line the NX, but that hasn't been... I don't think that's been, it's been announced, but it's not out yet. So, the odds of it being Pokemon Go on the smartphones, they don't own smartphones, that's not their console, it's not going to be Pokemon Go. It can't be. The second example is the runtime. The runtime for this Direct is 5 minutes. And user Papa Smurfy here says that the X and Y were revealed in an 11-minute Direct. With only 5 minutes, and it's happening right when Pokemon Day starts in Japan, it's almost definitely Z, or whatever it's going to be called. So what he is saying is that the runtime shouldn't matter. See, back in the Pokemon X and Y Direct, for like the first half of it, what's it called? They just went down the history of Pokemon. I could imagine that they could go, "Oh, happy Pokemon Day, we have a huge announcement. Here comes the new Pokemon games." So, don't look at the runtime and say, "Oh, that's not enough time to announce the games." Like, literally, they announced Pokemon X and Y. They revealed it in less than, like, 3 minutes. Because they went through the history, like I said, and then they announced it. And the announcement itself took, like, 3 minutes tops. So, the runtime isn't the reason why it may or may not be the new games. And this is the main thing that caught my eye. This is the main comment that caught my eye. One of the arguments here is the virtual console release, Pokemon Tournament, and maybe even Pokemon, or Pikachu Detective Pikachu, or whatever that's called. Unicorns Exist says, "They wouldn't do a Direct so short just to talk about a virtual console release that has already been advertised to death with individual trailers on the Japanese YouTube page, or an already announced title, see Pokemon Tournament, or Detective Pikachu, especially since it airs midnight of Pokemon Day in Japan. It won't be Go, as Go is largely a project outside of Nintendo's hands. Direct are for games on Nintendo consoles." That's kind of a repeat, but it did actually go over the whole Pokemon Tournament, the virtual console releases of Red, Blue, Yellow, and Red and Green in Japan, but that doesn't really matter for the United States, or the Detective Pikachu, which also has been announced. So what should we expect? Well, Unicorns Exist elaborates this even more. "Expect a short happy birthday / Pokemon Day, everybody. Thank you for being a fan for 20 years intro. Then mentions of Red, Blue, and Yellow / Green now being available on the virtual console. A mention of Pokemon's release, and then a huge announcement. aka the new Pokemon games. Unlike previous quote-unquote get your hope ups moments, we've had this actually has some credence to it. Nintendo Directs tend to be for announcements, and they know they would be pissing off the hive mind if they don't do something special for it. GameFreak /TPC/TPCI have made some silly choices in the past, but they wouldn't do something that stupid. It isn't a loose string we are pulling on. It's a massive tapestry that is extremely valuable and old with something old on it, and the more we unwind it, we see Pokemon Z/Rainbow/ whatever shall be coming. So, this is why I saved this one for last. It makes the most sense. It's not going to be Pokemon Go because it's not on the 3DS/NX. The runtime isn't going to be the issue because the X and Y has already been on it, so it's not going to be about a virtual console release if it's so short, and it's not going to be about an already announced title like Pokken Tournament and Detective Pikachu. What does this mean? Well, we have one conclusion remaining. It's the new games. It's going to have to be. And if my prediction is correct, that it's the new game, well, if my prediction and everybody else's prediction, most everybody else, it is going to be the new games. But my prediction is that it'll be either, well, would they really hold it out for that long? Would they wait till the fall? Or would they be like Black and White, too, and release it in June? Because that was announced, I'm pretty sure, on February 26th, 2012, in Japan, and then released in June. So, what do you think? Leave me your opinions of this direct down in the comment section below, and go ahead and if you can like this video, and to make it reach the top, hit the top. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just that much hype that I'm just botching my whole outro. But if you want to join me on the road to Pokemon Z or whatever, because this is most likely going to be the last video on the road to Pokemon Z, I'll be taking an exit to a different road. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, where I will have my opinions, the top 10s for the new game, any news reveal, always on Sunday, and if it's an emergency, during the week. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you do want to join, and I will catch you back at the top later on, because that is how you do what? Woo!